Yeah, shalom, shalom. It's the brother Chicago from Great Stone Lake Charles Count. Just back again with another quick lesson. All right, but before I do anything, as always, I'm gonna start by saying, "Call Halim Allah, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash," and that's all praises to the Father in the name of His only begotten Son, in the name of the Holy Spirit. It's like, all right, Nathama Shana Kabbalah Zakoyim Shaya Shala, which is give double honors to the elders of Israel, which are the elders and apostles of Great Stone who teach and rule well. Hold on, excuse me. Salaki. And Shalom Wablabaki Ashaya Shrala, which is peace and love to the elect of Israel. Alright, as you can see, I have Haggai. Alright, the first chapter. I wanted to hit just a couple verses on here. Just kind of getting the spirit, you know what I'm saying? I really ain't have nothing planned, but hey, the spirit led me to this. So, Lord willing, this video be edifying to the sincere Aki and Wakwatu may be tuning in. Without further ado, we're gonna hop straight to it. So this is Haggai chapter 1. In verse 1, it says, in the second year of Darius the king. All right, speaking about who's that Darius the king? All right, talking about Darius the Mede. Okay, it says, in the month, it's like in the first day of the month came the word of the Lord by Haggai the prophet unto Zerubbabel the son of Shealtiel, governor of Judah, and to Joshua and the son of Josedek, the high priest, saying. All right, so this was a message that was about to be given unto him. Okay. And another thing that kind of gives you an idea on what captivity they were in. All right, so look, this is Darius. It says Darius the Mede. All right, so Darius the Mede. All right, and we know based off of it saying Darius the Mede that it happened right after what? Captivity. All right, the Babylonian. Okay, because when you go to Daniel the 7th chapter, real quick. All right, get it. This is Daniel chapter 7. And I go up so you can get at verse 3, it says, and 4 great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. All right. And we know that these four great beasts basically was a representation of different kingdoms. Okay. So verse 4, it says, the first was like a lion and had eagle wings. I beheld till the wings were plucked, thereof were plucked, and it was lifted from the earth and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given unto it, man. Okay. And this was going into, the Assyrian empire basically being brought down by the Babylonians. All right, the transition of power, them being superseded by them. Okay. That's why it says and the wings were plucked. All right. Verse 5, it says, and behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs and a mouth of it between the teeth, and they said thus unto it, arise and devour much flesh. And this is going into the Medo-Persian Empire, man. All right. And it raising up itself on one side is because one of them had more dominion, all right, than the other. So one was absorbed into the military. I want to say it was it may have been the Persians that was absorbed into the Medes military, or the other way around. It says and it had 3 ribs and the mouth of it between the teeth of it, and they said thus unto it, arise and devour much flesh, man. Those 3 ribs are going into ancient Babylon, all right, Egypt, okay, and Libya, man. It says, and they said thus unto it, arise and devour much flesh. Why? Because they had a lot of dominion, all right, around that particular time. All right, you can also too go back to the 5th chapter and you'll see that transition of power. Salaki, man, I got a call interrupted. But you basically what I was about to go into before the call interrupted was when you go into Daniel the 5th chapter, you will see that transition of power from the Babylonians to what? The Medo-Persians, man. So this is Daniel the 5th chapter. And I start from 25. It says, and this is the writing that was written. Many tekel a parson. All right, it says, and this is the interpretation of the thing. Many, meaning God had numbered thy kingdom and finished it. Tekel, thou art weighed in the balances and are found wanting. Perez, thy kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and the Persians. All right, it says 29. Then commanded Belshazzar, and they clothed Daniel with scarlet and put a chain of gold about his neck and made a proclamation concerning him that he should be the third ruler in the kingdom. All right, why? Because he was able to decode, all right, and interpret that particular vision and let them know. All right, let Belshazzar know. It says, in that night, Belshazzar, the king of the Chaldeans, slain, endears the Mede. It's like endears the Median took the kingdom, being about 62 years old. And also, too, just another side note, when you look it up on Google, it may say Cyrus took down, was it Nebuchadnezzar? Okay, but it's saying that because Darius was basically a part of that. He was under Cyrus. Okay, Cyrus was the king at the time. Okay, and also too, it'll say Nebuchadnezzar because Nebuchadnezzar was Belshazzar's father. Okay, but he was basically exiled, so Belshazzar was just in that power seat at that time. Okay, but nevertheless, though, it was a transition of power, and that's also too how we know that when it speaks about the destruction of Babylon, mystery Babylon, that is not talking about ancient Babylon, that Neo-Babylonian Empire. Okay, because it says that what is going to be desolate, and no one is going to dwell there. Babylon today is still inhabited, man. Okay, let me see, what was I? And then, you know, the 6th and the 7th verse goes into the Greek, and then the Roman, but you know, that's kind of I ain't gonna go into that. Let me see, where was I? Back in that Haggai. All right, so now we understand like what time frame we're dealing with. It says, verse 2, thus speaketh the Yahweh of hosts, saying, this people say, the time is not come, the time that the Lord's house should be built. Okay, he said that, and looking at NLT, it says the people are saying the time has not yet come to rebuild the house of the Lord. Verse 3 back in the KJV, it says, then the word of the Lord came the word of the Lord by Haggai the prophet, saying, is it time for you, O ye, to dwell in your sealed houses? As this I'm reading Jobby's Hill, and this house lie waste, speaking about what? The temple. Okay. It says, verse 5, now therefore thus said the Yahweh of hosts, consider your ways. I'm reading the NLT. It says, then the Lord sent this message through the prophet Haggai, why are you living in luxurious, what the fuck, man? Why are you living in luxurious, all right, houses, while my house is lying in ruins? Like, I'm getting excited. While my house lies in ruins, what? Pertaining to what? The temple. All right, why are you guys trying to build up y'all houses and make y'all houses great? All right, when the temple needs to be rebuilt. Okay. Because that temple was built around the time of Solomon. All right, but what? It was destroyed. Let's see. I know it's 2nd Chronicles. No, it's the one in Second Kings too. I get the one in Chronicles. Let's see. Is it 36? Let me see. All right, this is it. Okay. All right, so this is 2nd Chronicles 36 and 16. Let me see. Yeah. You really could kind of go up. I'll get straight to it from 16. It says, but they mocked the messengers of the Most High, despised his words, and misused his prophets until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people till there was no remedy. All right. The same thing. We're seeing that same thing now. The prophets being mocked. All right. Despising the Lord's words. All right. Based off of them, despising the prophets, man. It says, until the wrath of the Lord arose against his people till there was no remedy. All right. And that's the same thing now. Israel, all right, was always a stiff-necked and rebellious people, so they constantly revolted more and more. All right, they always repeated those same offenses, man. All right, 17, it says, therefore he brought upon them the king of the Chaldees, who slew their young men with the sword in the house of their sanctuary, and they had no compassion upon young man or maiden, old man or him that stooped for age. He gave them all into his hand. All right. So gave them over to be smoke. All right, 18, it says, and all the vessels of the house of the Most High, great and small, and the treasures of the house of the Lord, and the treasures of the king and of his princes, all these he brought to Babylon. And they burnt the house of the Most High, and brake down the wall of Jerusalem, and burnt all the palaces thereof with fire, and destroyed all the goodly vessels thereof. And them that had escaped from the sword carried he away to Babylon as what? Captives. All right, spoils. All right, it says, well, they were servants to him and his sons until the reign of the kingdom of Persia. All right, because we just read in that Daniel, the 5th chapter, about, all right, the Medo-Persians taking over, all right, and it being a transition of power. Okay, so that's why it says until the reign of the kingdom of Persia. Okay. So, going back, this is a Haggai chapter 1 and verse 5. It says, now therefore thus saith thee, Yahweh of hosts, consider your ways. Verse 6, it says, ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes, man. All right, look at that in NLT. It says, you have planted much, but harvest little. You eat, but are not satisfied. You drink, but are still thirsty. You put on clothes, but cannot keep warm. Your wages disappear as though you were putting them in pockets with holes. This is what the Lord of heaven's army says. Look at what's happening to you. Now go up into the hills, bring down timber, and rebuild my house. Then I will take pleasure in it and be honored, says the Yahweh. You hope for rich harvests, but they were poor. And when you brought your harvest home, I blew it away. Why? Because my house lies in ruins, says the Lord of heaven's armies, while all of you are busy building your own houses. Building your own fine houses, man. Okay? So that's why, and we apply, that into the spirit, in today's time, because, man, Jake has that pocket with holes, man. All right, we work for the fucking knot, man. All right, Jake go to work, he living check to check and shit, man. All right, but it's all because what? The earth was given into the hands of the wicked. All right, and this is not our rest. Not saying that Jake is just gonna be flat out, just flat broken shit, man. Because the Lord will have you, to where you're in comfortability. All right, to where you're able to receive your daily bread. But all right, Jake has to remember what we're under the curses. All right, and this is not our rest. This is captivity. And this is Esau's kingdom. His blessing was to receive the fatness of the earth, man. All right. It says, verse 9. No, I read 9. Let me see. Let me see 10. I'm gonna keep going in the NLT. It said, it's because of you the heavens withhold the dew, and the earth produces no crops. So what? A drought. 11. It says, I have called for a drought on your fields and hills, a drought to wither the grain and grapes and olive trees and all your other crops, a drought to starve you and your livestock, to ruin everything you have worked so hard to get. All right, and that's the same thing you see in Jeremiah the 14th chapter, man. All right, And that's why Israel was in that destitute state. All right. When it says the gates thereof languish, they're basically black into the ground, just loosely paraphrasing. All right. It was because it was a dearth in the land. All right. And that's why in Lamentations too, it speaks about that. Oh, my bones are black into the ground. Just loosely paraphrasing it. You know, because Israel was destitute around that time. Okay. Let me see. I'll stop at 12. It says, then Zerubbabel, back in the KJV, then Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and Joshua, the son of Josedek, the high priest, with all the remnant of the people, obeyed the voice of the Most High Yahweh, thy power, and their words, and the words of Haggai, the prophet, as the Lord Yahweh, their power, has sent them, and the people did fear before the Lord. Then spake Haggai the Lord's message. Then spake Haggai the Lord's messenger, and the Yahweh's message unto the people, saying, I am with you, saith the Lord. You know? But it was always a repetitive process, with the nation of Israel, man. All right? They ain't learning until the Lord kick their ass. All right? And that's exactly why it's going to be a great reset now. Okay? And that's exactly why. All right? 2/3 shall be cut off and die. All right? But that third shall be brought through the fire. You know? But this was pretty much all I wanted to, speak on before, I got into, the gym or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, Lord willing, this video was edifying to this to see how I can walk while through, maybe tune in. All right, it was clear, straight to the point. Hey, with that being said, I'm going to say shalom.